Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers, XRP holders, crypto enthusiasts, those of you that are left out there. The markets are heating up a little bit this morning. We'll talk about what is there to look forward to. There's the GDP and there's the PCE. Don't worry, there's a lot to get to. News from Washington and oil. Ooh la la, right? Oil's is heating up again. Is that good? Is that bad? We'll talk about all that, what's happening with the Iran-USA situation. Sit back, relax. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know you guys can do it because we've done it before. Yesterday morning video, we got 1,000 likes. And look, that's not what I wanted. This XRP is up 2.5% on the day. So there must be a correlation between the two, just saying. Wink, wink. There's no real correlation between the two. Currently, XRP is at $1.42, up 2.5% on the day. Bitcoin is at 71,000 and a half. Ethereum is at 2,100. Was a little bit higher, but got rejected here by the resistance area, as you can see. Right? Interesting. What time was this? During the night, 2 a.m. So after UTC time, suddenly we saw a little bit of a pop here. I was sleeping, right? Bitcoin went to 72,000. And you can see XRP popped here as well. Actually, sleep update. There were no alarms tonight, but my son woke up at like 5:30 in the morning. So even when you get like no alarms, you get a child that wakes you up. So this is the current situation with the crypto market. Again, it can flippity flop and very fast because we do have GDP and PCE coming out this morning, job openings as well. So this could be a very volatile Friday. Moreover, it's Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky, right? So maybe it's a spooky Friday instead of a freaky Friday. But that could add to the volatility of the market. So the fact that we are in the green and Trump is up 22%. I don't know why. But that could add to the volatility of the markets. You can see some are up 5% here today. So just take that into consideration. So that there could be volatility. And that if you do wake up and you see XRP in the green and you're like, oh, you get all happy, we could see a pullback there. As always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers, those are imposters. I will never DM you first. That's very important to remember. So there's this whole thing you can see over the last 12 hours. A lot has happened in the whole Iran, Israel, USA situation. Right now, Brent oil is sitting slightly under $100 and crude oil is at $97 per barrel. So we're very close to that 100 range once again. This is coming after the new supreme leader, son of, right? So this is the new Khamenei, released his first statement, not from beyond the grave, right? It's his son. He did not appear on camera. Someone else read it while his photo was on screen, and he vowed to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed until the war ends. So, after he got that statement out, oil started popping, and again, that's not great for the future of inflation, right? When you have a situation where oil is getting more expensive and inflation is already high in many places around the world, then you have a situation where everything starts getting expensive because, for example, fruits and vegetables start getting more expensive because it costs more to transfer them, right? And then restaurants start getting more expensive because they use the fruit and vegetables. And it costs more, so maybe transportation starts going up and public transportation start going on. All these things start unraveling with the fact that it costs more at the pump. So all this will potentially affect what's happening if this goes for a long time and the countries around the world do not release their reserves, right? They vowed to continue attacking all U.S. bases in the region. Netanyahu responds. He says Iran's new supreme leader cannot even show his face in public. Then the IRGC warned it will sell all the region's oil and gas on fire if energy infrastructure is hit again. Iran launched its most intense operation since the beginning of the war, fired its most advanced ballistic missiles at Tel Aviv and Haifa, and nothing really happened. There was actually during the night an area up north that got hit, a Bedouin village, right? That got hit, and about 60 people got injured, but nothing from the big ballistic missiles coming from Iran. A missile struck meters from Jerusalem's Old City, Western Wall, Al-Aqsa Church, and Holy Sepulchre. All prayer there suspended. A U.S. Refueling tanker crashed in western Iraq. Recovery underway. So there was some soldiers there that got stranded, but they're going to recover them. 2 oil tankers hit in Iraqi waters. Thailand demanded an apology from Iran after their cargo ship was set ablaze. U.S. temporarily lifted sanctions on Russian oil to boost global supply. First time since the Ukraine war. So this is also happening, and that could affect the prices and send them down. So we'll see. Iran's oil exports up 30% since the war started. Chinese and Iranian ships still moving through Hormuz. U.S. strikes Iraqi militia. IDF got after IRGC top commander. Iran set 3 conditions for ending the war: recognitions of rights, reparations, and guarantees against future attacks. So that actually is something that the Iranian president posted on X. So this is a shift because suddenly they're saying, okay, these are the ways that we will surrender, right? And this is interesting. It must, if they're ready to put out while they'll things that they will surrender, they might be closer than people think. But it doesn't seem that the U.S. and Israel are ready for that just yet. The WHO, right, not the band, the World Health Organization, warned of toxic black rain falling on Tehran from oil depot smoke, right? So that's a problem there. Trump told Access the war will end soon because there's practically nothing left to target. Interesting. The situation in Lebanon is getting hotter as Hezbollah started sending rockets into Israel, and now Israel is retaliating back. And actually, the Lebanese prime minister is going after Hezbollah. They wanted to eradicate them and remove them from Lebanon. They're destroying Lebanon. So we'll see what happens there as well. Iran's police chief. Okay, so this is getting down to the nitty gritty. And so all these things are potentially affecting what's happening. Mostly what's happening with Iran and Hormuz is what's affecting the price of oil. And we'll continue to see what happens there and how that affects crypto. Again, if there's fear in the markets and investors are sitting on the sidelines because they don't know what's going to happen, and oil continues to pop and the stock market continues to drop. And by the way, the stock market just had its worst day of 2026, or the lowest. It closed at the lowest value of 2026, right? So, right, it closed because it had on Monday 9th, the March of 9th, it popped back up. So this is the lowest that it's been since November, right? Remember, there was big fear at the end of November as well as in October, right here, October 10th. Remember, the stock market dropped too. It just didn't have the same cascading liquidations that the crypto market had on October 10th. So this is also, there's lots of fear, and the VIX is back up, right? It's not at 35 when it first popped up over 120, when oil popped over 120 there, right? But it's still pretty high and up this morning as well as pre-market opened just half an hour ago, right? So a very, very interesting morning, and we'll see. And President Trump says, watch what happens today. So maybe there's going to be he says they have nothing left. No Navy, no Air Force, missiles, drones, and everything are being decimated. And their leader have been wiped out from the face of the earth. We have unparalleled firepower, unlimited ammunition, and plenty of time. Watch what happens today. So this will be very interesting to see if anything develops today, Freaky Friday. And so we'll see. Now let's move on to more crypto stuff. So the quote unquote smartest man in the world, right? He's the highest IQ holder, but he's been wrong actually about the crypto market multiple times. He says, I think bull run just started. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. HBC and Standard Chartered are set to receive some first stablecoin issuer license in Hong Kong. So more news on that. The SEC advanced narrow exemptions for tokenized stock trading. The head of crypto task force, Hester Pierce, gave an update on the long-awaited innovation exemption today, saying SEC staff are working on a narrow exemption that will allow limited trading of certain tokenized securities so firms can experiment with blockchain. Pierce suggests the version under consideration would be far more limited than the blanket exemption proposed by the SEC Investor Advisory Committee. So again, the SEC continues to develop, continues to grow, and allow more things for the cryptocurrency market, even though it's a narrow exemption. But potentially in the future, it could develop into a real exemption. This is a shocking story. And again, it's a reminder us to always double check and make sure we understand what we're doing. Someone lost $50 million by accidentally swapping 50 million in USDT for 32,000 worth of Viave tokens. The platform says the user accepted the high slippage warning on the mobile, which resulted in this loss. And you can see this is the CEO and creator of Viave, said a user attempted to buy Aave using 50 million through the Aave interface. Given the unusually large size of a single order, the Aave interface, like most trading interfaces, warned the user about extraordinary slippage and required confirmation via checkbox. The user confirmed the warning on the mobile device and proceeded with the swap, accepting the high slippage, which ultimately resulted in only 324 Aave. In return, the transaction could not be moved forward without the user explicitly accepting the risk through the confirmation box. The COW swap routers function as intended and integration followed standard industry practices. However, while the user was able to proceed with the swap, the final outcome was clearly far from optimal. Events like this do occur in DeFi, but the scale of the transaction was significantly larger than was typically seen in the space. We sympathize with the user and will try to make contact with the user and will return 600,000 in fees collected from the transaction. Key takeaway is while DeFi should remain open and permissionless, allowing users to perform transactions freely, there are additional guardrails the industry can build to better protect users. Our team will be investigating ways to improve these safeguards going forward. And this is, important. Slippage is something that happens. You need to know what you're doing before you do things. I've seen multiple people that send assets to the wrong address. They buy the wrong thing, the wrong asset, the wrong token. Just double check, triple check everything you're doing. Make sure you understand. Make sure you read everything. I personally, by accident, sent something to the right address, but on the wrong chain early on. And it cost me, right? But thankfully, the platform that I was using then was able to recover the funds and send it back to me. So just be very careful what you're doing and who you're sending to, because if you're not sending to a exchange, there's high probability that money is gone. Okay, so just be very, very careful. Okay. And we continue to see people talking about how maybe there's going to be continue sell-off, and maybe we see Bitcoin, stabilize around 50,000. That would bring us more than it's not 70% or 75% like we saw in the previous cycle, but that is still a possibility, right? We've talked about it. We weren't that far away on February 6th there. At 60,000. So it wouldn't be, a huge surprise if Bitcoin drops all the way down to 50,000 support and then bounces off of that. We talked about how if we go similar to previous cycles, so from the high to the low here, right, it was 76%. So if we do something similar here, it works. My mouse is not agreeing with me, right? 76% would bring us around 30,000. So that would be similar slippage or similar sell-off than we had in 2022. So we'll see again, a lot of experts, some are saying this way, some are saying that way. All the experts, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Why? Because, and he's saying that we'll see by 2028, 380,000, according to his prediction here. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Okay, that's very, very important to remember. This current situation with the price action of the crypto market is not according to the previous steps, although Benjamin Cohen will tell you that it is. And so maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Some things have played out exactly, some things have played out not exactly the way the previous cycles are. So you have to make your decision. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a year's time frame, 5 years time frame, 10 years time frame, and make your decisions off of that. Again, it's up to you to make your own decisions. Now, remember, if you're interested in short term trading, our partner BTCC will give the opportunity to trade long, short, and they are giving us special promotion. It's only for us, a 30% deposit bonus right now. So if you have not signed up yet, now's the time to do so. Maybe the smartest man in the world is right, right? And the bull run just started, so you want to be there on the ground floor when that's happening. And you get the 30% deposit bonus. So if you deposit 1,000, it's $300. A million, it's $300,000 extra for trading. So link is in the description down below. This is an affiliate link, so I will get a commission. Thank you for that. But please trade responsibly. Make sure you understand the risk and reward of leverage trading before you get into it. Okay. I've seen this around YouTube over the past few days, and I get it. But has this been prediction of XRP going to $21. Now, according to a graph scenario, listen. Listen. XRP analyst predicts 21.5 target after bullish weekly chart signal. A crypto analyst CW spots bullish candlestick formation on XRP 3-week chart. It's a weird chart to look at, calling it start of a full-scale uptrend that could first retest all-time highs before potential extreme scenario targeting 21.5. Let's get back to, $2 and before we start talking about $21, right? I've said this before, I'll say it again. All these outlandish far-term predictions, in the short term, they don't do anybody any good, right? There was a time where people were talking about triple digits, right? Let's get to 3, let's get to 4, let's get to 5, right? And then see what happens, where the market is. Maybe it doesn't even happen. But it's easy to throw out, oh, well, if X, Y, Z, and W happen, then maybe we'll get to this scenario. Maybe, and maybe, pigs will fly, maybe, right? So just be careful on who you're listening to, how you're listening to. Nobody knows exactly what the price of XRP or the crypto market is going to do. They can hypothesize, they can speculate, but at the end of the day, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. And we have to take risk, right? That's why every single investment, every single trade is a risk, because things can change. Trump can say something. The markets can move. There can be new technology. Something happens. We don't know, right? So just be very careful out there. Understand the risks and rewards, and continue to watch my videos, because I bring you a full spectrum of what's happening. And I really appreciate you guys joining me every single day. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out BTCC in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.